He had waited by the door for days, sensing something was about to change. The house smelled different, softer, warmer, full of life. Everyone whispered about the baby, but no one told him what it meant. He only knew his humans were smiling more than usual, and today they finally brought her home. The door opened, and he saw her, tiny, wrapped in white, sleeping like a dream. For a moment, time froze. The giant golden dog took a cautious step forward. The mother held her breath, unsure what he would do. He stopped beside the baby carrier, ears low, tail still. The baby's scent reached him. Sweet, fragile, pure. He blinked once, twice, then slowly bowed his head. A soft whine escaped his throat, breaking the silence. Everyone watched, hearts trembling. He sniffed the baby gently, then placed his paw beside her seat, as if promising to protect. The baby stirred and opened her eyes. Their gazes met. Innocence meeting loyalty. And in that small, quiet moment, something beautiful began. The Hupp family didn't realize it then, but their home had just gained an angel in golden fur. The house had never felt so quiet. Every clock ticked slower, every sound felt new. The family entered, holding a bundle of white blankets. Inside was a miracle, their newborn daughter, and beside the doorway sat Max, their loyal golden retriever. He tilted his head, sensing something delicate had arrived. For weeks he had watched them prepare the nursery. He saw tiny clothes folded with care. He saw toys lined up like treasures, but he never understood who it was all for. Until now. He approached carefully, tail barely moving. The baby's scent filled the air. Sweet, gentle, like milk and dreams. The mother's heart pounded. She was scared he might get too close. But Max stopped just inches away. He lowered his head, his breath soft and slow. The baby twitched, tiny fingers opening. Max stared, as if seeing magic for the first time. And when her hand brushed his fur, he froze. Then softly, he exhaled and wagged his tail. No words, no noise, just a silent promise. The promise of a lifetime of love. The house didn't feel quiet anymore. It felt alive. The moonlight poured through the window. The baby cried softly in her cradle. Her mother rocked her gently, but she wouldn't stop. Max lifted his head from the floor, ears twitching. He walked closer, paws silent on the tiles. The mother whispered, "Shh, Max, not now." But he didn't listen, not out of disobedience, but care. He sat beside the cradle and looked at the baby. She paused mid-cry, staring up at his golden fur. The sound softened, then stopped. Max tilted his head, confused but proud. He lay down beside her crib, eyes never leaving her face. All night he stayed there, the guardian no one assigned. Each time she whimpered, he lifted his paw gently against the wood. The rhythm calmed her. The mother watched through tears. Fear turned into warmth. She whispered, "Good boy," her voice trembling. Max wagged his tail once and rested his chin on the floor. Outside, the world was asleep. Inside, love was awake. By sunrise, both baby and dog were dreaming peacefully. It was the first of many nights they'd spend side by side, and no lullaby could ever match the sound of his loyal heart. Every morning began the same. The baby's laughter filled the house, and Max was always the first to arrive. He'd wait beside her cradle until she woke. Then the moment she opened her eyes, his tail would thump the floor. The mother laughed. "You're faster than my alarm, Max," he'd bark softly, as if to say, "She's awake." When she was placed on the soft rug, Max would lie beside her. Sometimes she'd grab his fur and pull gently. He never flinched. He only watched her with patient, golden eyes. She'd babble and he'd tilt his head, a language only they understood. Every giggle became his reward, every smile his mission. He'd follow her tiny hands as they waved in the air. He'd nudge her toys closer when they rolled away. The family soon realized he had become her shadow. Where she crawled, he followed. Where she slept, he guarded. The connection was unspoken, yet pure. It wasn't just routine, it was devotion. Each sunrise their bond grew stronger, and each morning love arrived wearing golden fur. One afternoon, the mother stepped into the kitchen for a moment. The baby sat in her small chair, giggling at Max. Suddenly the chair wobbled, a toy fell. The baby leaned forward, too far. Max jumped before anyone could scream. With one quick move, he steadied the chair with his body. The baby blinked, unharmed. The mother ran in, breathless. Her heart almost stopped at what she saw. Max stood there, chest rising fast, guarding the baby. She realized he hadn't just reacted, he had protected. Tears filled her eyes as she whispered his name. He looked back, calm and steady. His job wasn't to play, it was to keep her safe. That night, the family hugged him tighter than ever before. Even the father, who once said, "He's just a dog," stayed silent, because that day they saw the truth. He wasn't just a dog, he was a guardian sent by fate, and the baby, his reason to exist. Sometimes heroes don't wear capes. Sometimes they have paws, and they love more fiercely than humans ever could. Days turned into months, like pages in a diary. The baby began to crawl, then stand. Max followed every step, ready to catch her if she fell. He was her shadow, her playmate, her comfort. And one morning, something magical happened. The baby sat on the floor, looking straight at him. She smiled, the kind that lights up the soul. Her lips moved, soft and unsure. "Ma," she tried. Everyone leaned closer. Then came the unexpected word. "Max." The room froze. It wasn't Mama, it wasn't Papa. It was his name, her first word. Max wagged his tail wildly, ears perking up. He barked once, joyful and proud. The parents laughed through tears. The dog they once feared might not adjust, had become her first teacher of love. He licked her tiny hand, gently, gratefully, and she giggled, touching his nose. The moment was small but unforgettable, because in that sound one thing was clear. Her first word was not just a name, it was a promise, forever. Rain crashed against the windows. Thunder rolled through the dark sky like anger itself. The power went out, plunging the house into silence. The baby whimpered, her tiny hands clutching the blanket. Max lifted his head immediately. He could feel her fear, every trembling breath. He padded softly toward her crib. Lightning flashed, white, sudden, loud. The baby began to cry. Without hesitation, Max pressed his body beside the crib. His warmth spread through the air like sunlight in the storm. The mother found them moments later, tears in her eyes. The dog's golden fur shimmered under the faint glow of candles. He didn't flinch at thunder. He didn't move when lightning struck again. He only stared at the baby, calm and steady. His heartbeat became her lullaby. Her cries turned into sniffles. Sniffles faded into silence, and silence melted into peace. Outside, the storm raged without mercy. Inside, love built a fortress of calm. The mother knelt beside them and whispered, Thank you. Max didn't understand the words, but he understood the tone. He licked her hand once, soft, gentle, humble. He wasn't a hero by choice, he was a guardian by nature. And as the rain kept falling, one truth remained unshaken. Some storms don't break bonds. They prove them. And that night, the baby slept under the safest heart in the world. The sun poured gold across the living room. The baby stood near the couch, wobbling with excitement. Max sat close, watching carefully. The mother whispered, "Come on, sweetie, you can do it." The baby took one tiny step, then another. Her balance wavered. Max shifted instantly, placing his body near her legs. She stumbled, but instead of falling, she leaned into his fur. He stood still like a rock. Her laughter filled the air, bright and pure. The family clapped, cheering in joy, but Max didn't move. His eyes were fixed on her every motion. The baby turned and hugged his neck, tiny arms around golden fur, innocence around loyalty. He wagged his tail slowly, almost proudly. The camera clicked, capturing a moment that would last forever. Her first steps weren't just toward her parents. They were toward trust, toward friendship, toward unconditional love. The mother looked at Max and whispered, "She walks because you gave her courage." And in some quiet way, it was true, because he had taught her what safety feels like. He had shown her that love stands beside you, always ready to catch you when you fall. From that day forward, she walked with more confidence. And every time she took a step, Max followed, not in front, not behind, but exactly beside her, just where a protector belongs. One morning, Max didn't come when called. His food bowl sat untouched. The family grew worried. He was never like this. The baby, now a toddler, looked around for him. "Max?" she called softly. Her tiny voice echoed through the hall. They found him lying near the window, eyes half closed. He was tired, so very tired. The vet said it was age. His heart was slowing down. The mother's eyes filled with tears. The father turned away, unable to speak, but the baby walked right up to him. She placed her hand on his paw. "Good boy," she whispered, the same words her mother used to say. Max's tail moved slightly, just once. He looked at her, then at the family. His gaze was calm, peaceful, almost proud. He had done his job. He had kept his promise. The baby lay beside him on the floor, refusing to leave. A small head rested against his chest. For a moment, his heartbeat matched hers, steady and soft. Then, slowly, it faded. The house went silent. No bark, no footsteps, just stillness. The baby didn't cry. She smiled faintly, because even though he was gone, she could still feel him there, in her heartbeat. Love like that doesn't die. It just changes form. Time passed, but the bond never faded. The baby grew, her hair longer, her laughter louder, and every photo in the house still had Max in it. His bed stayed in the corner, untouched. Sometimes she'd crawl onto it and whisper stories. Stories about her day, her dreams, her fears, and even though he wasn't there, she felt like he was listening. The mother once peeked in and saw her talking to the air. "Who are you talking to, sweetheart?" she asked softly. "To Max," the girl smiled. "He still guards me," the mother froze, her eyes wet with tears, because she knew it was true. On stormy nights, the girl never feared thunder. She'd whisper, "It's okay, Max is here." Sometimes she'd feel warmth beside her bed, the kind of warmth that only love can leave behind. His presence became their peace, his memory their comfort. Years later, she'd tell her friends about her first protector. Not a man, not a toy, but a dog with golden fur and a heart of gold. They'd smile, but they'd never understand, because how could they? Some bonds are beyond words, and some angels never need wings to prove they're watching. He was gone from sight, but forever alive in her soul. Years flew by like petals in the wind. The little girl became a woman. She carried with her a warmth that everyone felt but few understood. And one day she brought home someone new, a small puppy with curious eyes, golden fur, same sparkle, same gentle heart. She smiled through tears, whispering, "Welcome home, Max." Her mother gasped softly. The name echoed through time. The puppy wagged its tail, curling beside her feet, and just like before, love began again. She placed an old photo beside his bed, a picture of a baby sleeping next to a golden retriever. The puppy sniffed it and lay down peacefully. Outside, the world moved on, but inside that house, a legacy continued, the same loyalty, the same innocence, the same protection reborn. That night, as she looked out the window, she whispered into the quiet air, "Thank you for watching over me all these years." A soft breeze brushed her cheek. Warm, familiar. Somewhere, she knew he was proud, because love never really ends. It just finds new paws to walk the earth again. And so, the story that began with one dog seeing a baby for the first time ended with another seeing her child for the first time. The circle was complete and love eternal. Love doesn't always speak in words. Sometimes it simply watches over you. True guardians don't need armor or wings. Sometimes they have fur and golden eyes. Max taught the world that loyalty is silent, but unbreakable. He never asked for anything. He only gave, endlessly. Every bark, every glance, every gentle breath beside the crib was a promise kept. He proved that love can be both fierce and tender, that even the smallest baby can awaken the biggest heart, and that family isn't always made by blood. Sometimes it's chosen by love. The girl grew up safe because he believed she was worth guarding, and even when he was gone, his love stayed, patient, unseen, eternal. It became the warmth in every storm, the peace in every silence. It became her courage when life grew hard. Because once you're loved purely, that love lives inside you forever. This story isn't just about a dog and a baby. It's about faith, in kindness, in innocence, in loyalty that never fades. Max didn't just protect her. He shaped the person she became. He showed her what it means to love without condition, without end. And maybe that's what angels really look like, not glowing in heaven, but sleeping beside us on the floor, because sometimes the truest form of love has 4 paws and a heartbeat.